Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Reject Films. I want to start this video by saying thank you guys so much for all your support and everything. Right at or getting ready to approach 600 subs, which is really, really awesome. And yeah, I just appreciate each and every one of you guys, and hopefully do something soon to give back and everything. I don't know what this is at the bottom of the screen on the camera. It's probably whatever the camera's sitting on. Anyway, it's been a really long, exhausting day, so I do apologize that I'm just kind of drained right now. But got a couple more titles in here from Warner Archive for review for you guys. The first one I have here is The Hunger, and the second one being The Hidden. So this one I had seen before, but The Hunger I had not, and I had been wanting to check it out for a long time. So thank you, Warner Archive, for sending these over for me to review, because I've been wanting to check this one out for a really long time. So let's start with The Hunger. This film stars David Bowie, Catherine Deneuve, I can't really say her name very well, and Susan Sarandon. This is from 1983. I thought this film was going to star David Bowie like the whole time, but it doesn't. But it was still cool to see him in a movie. I think this is the only movie I've seen him in. I know he's done a few films before his passing, but this movie isn't what I expected it to be by the trailer. The trailer looked really messed up, a lot going on and everything. But there really wasn't a whole lot going on in this movie until about halfway through, maybe a little bit after, and the end is really weird and messed up. But before that, I mean, it's just kind of, it's pretty slow. It starts out kind of fast. You start out with like a cool scene where they're at this rock concert, and they bring people back to their place and feed on them and everything, and the way that scene is shot is really cool and everything like that, real stylish. This film is directed by Tony Scott, by the way. This is his first feature film, of course, brother of Ridley Scott, and you know, Tony had passed away recently. But before this, he had only done music videos, commercials, stuff like that. But after that opening scene, it just kind of drags a little bit. This film mainly focuses on David Bowie's character John and Catherine Deneuve, Miriam. She's a vampire that's like, I believe, the last of her kind, and she had turned David Bowie's character into one as well to be her lover, and he doesn't have like as much strength as her, I guess, and he finally starts to begin to age, and at a rapid rate. And during this time as well, you have Susan Sarandon's character, who's a scientist. She's studying longevity on animals, mainly focusing on monkeys, and the same kind of things going on with them. They start aging rapidly, and one of the monkeys dies and everything. I still don't fully understand the connection between the two. I guess that maybe that blood got in there somehow. There must have been something I missed. I might have to rewatch this movie. But please let me know in the comments, if you guys have seen this film, what that connection to the monkeys is, because I honestly don't know 100%. But anyway, as he starts aging, he comes across Susan Sarandon's character, Sarah, and is trying to figure out why he's aging this way. And there's even a point where he's waiting for her, and while he's in the waiting room and everything, he ages years within minutes. And I will say the special effects for his aging were really well done. Very realistic looking and everything. So then he kind of pretty much begs Miriam to to kill him, and she can't, and everything. And uh, there's also a young girl involved uh, with them too. They play music together and everything like that, and he has an incident with her while Miriam's out at the house. But yeah, after he pretty much deteriorates to where he's no longer able to function, she takes his body into a coffin and puts it with her past lovers down um, the basement or whatever of this house, and she seeks out a new lover, which she ends up turning Susan Sarandon's character, Sarah, into um, her new lover, which those scenes are pretty decent, I will say that. And this is about halfway through the movie, and it starts to pick up a little bit from there. And then, Sarah starts getting her cravings, the hunger, as they call it. Yeah, Miriam brings a guy to her to feed on and everything like that. And she ends up testing her blood at work and everything, finds out it's in human blood, and she doesn't want to be this way, though, is the problem. Um, it gets really crazy after that towards the end. Her Sarah's husband ends up showing up and everything, and after that point, it turns into pretty much a full-on horror film after that. Before that point, there's not a whole lot of horror aspects to it. It's more of just the relationship of Miriam and John, and turns into a kind of full-on zombie type film there at the very end. But I didn't want to give everything away to the story. There's other things that happen in there. But if you guys haven't seen this movie and you're expecting a full-on like vampire film that's intense and extreme, it's not what you're going to get, like I say, until the very end. But this movie did have a lot of style to it. I like the way it's shot a lot of times and everything like that. People say he was too ambitious on this one and too... I don't know. A lot of people don't like this movie because of the way it's shot, but I enjoyed it for the most part. I mean, overall, it was a really well done film. The only part I didn't like, as far as the way it was shot, was towards the beginning. It keeps cutting back to like a car driving, and then back to another scene, and back to the car, and back to the other scene. That was pretty much the only part of this I didn't like, as far as the way it was shot. But it's not what I expected it to be. I expected it to be a full-on vampire, erotic film that just was really... I can't think of what I'm trying to say. I just didn't expect the pacing to be as slow as it was there in the first half, but still a good story and shot really well and everything like that. So I still recommend checking out The Hunger. If nothing else, David Bowie did a great performance. Everybody in here did a great job on their acting part. I mean, yeah, please let me know in the comments if you guys have seen this, what exactly was going on with the monkeys, how they got the blood in them and everything. I don't really understand. But anyway, so the next one is The Hidden. This is from 1987. Stars a couple people that I don't really know, but you did have a lot of cameos in here. You had Clu Gallagher, I think that's how you say his name. I don't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about, the guy from Return of the Living Dead. You got short appearances from Ted White, who played Jason. You got a small cameo from Danny Trejo. You got small appearances from Lynn Shay. Yeah, all kinds of cameos in here from lots of people who weren't really big back then. But yeah, this one I had seen before, like I say, and I forgot how good this movie was. I mean, it's held up really well throughout the years. It's aged well, but this movie is pretty much a take on the Invasion of the Body Snatchers type film, where an alien being is transferred from one person to the other through the mouth, and you start out with a surveillance camera view of a bank robbery, and guy just going crazy, killing cops, doing all this, and followed by a long police chase, which the police chase was really well shot. I watched some of the commentary. I watched some of this with the commentary on, and they were saying that it was actually longer than that. They had to cut some out, and everything they went through to film the chase and everything. But it was really well done. I highly recommend checking out the commentary track. It's pretty good. And I'm not big on commentary, but there wasn't a whole lot of behind the scenes on here, so I wanted to get some insight on some things. The hidden, you only had you have commentary with Susan Sarandon and Tony Scott, which I want to go back and check that out. Like I say, on here you have commentary with Jack Shoulder and Tim Hunter, special effects production footage narrated by Jack Shoulder, and theatrical trailer. I don't know if you can see it, but which Jack is the director of Nightmare on Elm Street 2 as well, and Wishmaster 2, and stuff like that. But anyway, so after the police chase, he gets out of the car finally. They blow the car up while he's next to it. When he gets out of the car, he just gives this kind of like evil smirk and everything. And so he's sent to the hospital afterwards. He's burnt real bad. He's not going to make it. He transfers the being over to another patient who is in there for like triple bypass surgery or something. He's not very well off. And he wakes up. The other guy, dies after he transfers over to the other patient. And he goes and wreaks havoc on everything. He's having a good time. There's a certain point where he's at a restaurant and he sees on TV that the senator is getting ready to run for president and everything, which in the commentary track there's some other things that were going to happen with that they didn't, which was pretty interesting. But anyway, so he's going on, and like I say, he's having a good time. He's tearing stuff up. The body starts to really give out on him, and so he's got to find something else to put in, to transfer this over to. And he eventually makes his way, sorry, to a strip club after his encounter at a Ferrari dealership, which the evil entity, I'll call it, has a fascination for Ferraris. And during this time as well, I forgot to mention, you have a cop. Tom Beck is the cop, and FBI agent Gallagher, who are working together trying to find these people as well. The cop has no idea what's going on, but the FBI agent does. And you kind of get a sense right off the bat there's something not quite right with the FBI guy. And later on in the film, you really get that sense. But anyway, so his body's disintegrating. He finds his way to the strip club after his Ferrari incident, which I found really amusing. Transfers this being over to a stripper. Big shootout on the roof and everything like that. And before that is when you kind of get the sense of the FBI guy having a hidden agenda, I guess you can call it, when he's invited over to the cop, Lieutenant Beck, house for dinner and stuff like that. There's a scene between him and the cop's little girl where you kind of get that sense, and he's looking in the mirror in his home and looking at some other things, and you get the sense something's not quite right with him. But anyway, so after that shootout, the FBI Gallagher tries to catch this thing before it transfers over to someone else. He doesn't know quite who it transferred over to. He got there just a little bit too late. Come to find out, it transferred over to animal, and then to the lieutenant of the police station. I'm not really giving anything away because it's kind of in the trailer, and it kind of says it on the front that now it just took over a police station, right there on the front. So that's like the big part of it, is it takes over, the police chief. And that's when you kind of get the cameo from Danny Trejo while they're in the police station there. But so anyway, it eventually makes its way to the senator who's running for president. And I'll just stop there. I'm not going to tell you guys what happens after that. I don't want to spoil the whole thing. And there's some really cool scenes once he takes over the police station and everything. But yeah, this movie was just really good. It starts out like more fun and lighthearted, and then it turns into a more serious film. But I had a great time with this one. Highly recommend checking this one out if you guys haven't seen it. I still have the old DVD snapper case as well. Transfers on both of these were really good, as expected from the archive. Now, The Hidden does have a slight, kind of like a layered transition on the DVD would have about halfway through the movie. I'm not sure if that was intentional or some kind of cut or what it is, but other than that, like I say, great transfers. Audio and video on both of them were excellent. Definitely recommend both these. I mean, like I say, The Hunger may not be for everybody, but The Hidden is really a lot of fun. And the practical effects in here with the creature were pretty cool. I mean, you get the little behind the scenes on there on that, but not a whole lot. I forget who did the special effects on here. I know the name. Excuse me. Yeah, it's not telling me on the back. But, yeah, I definitely recommend The Hidden, guys. It's kind of a buddy cop drama, sci-fi horror. Yeah, it's just a good movie. I mean, definitely check it out. But, yeah, so that's my review for these two films. Let me know down below if you guys have seen these, what you think of them. And again, what was going on with the monkeys? I can't get past that. So, see you guys on the next review. Take care.